Hi there, Vanessa Wesley with The Weekly Whisper at theweeklywhisper.com. Over the past several months, I've been asking people, what do you love? What do you love? And what makes you giggle? You see, back in July, when I painted a pair of jeans in order to take with me on a trip, I realized as I was doing that I was giggling. I literally was giggling. Now, I didn't know to ask that question. It happened quite spontaneously. I was having a conversation with a woman at a conference that we both were attending, and she was telling me about her work with abused children. But she was feeling burned out. She said, I'm feeling burned out. I can't tell if I need to transition out of this work and do something else. So I asked her, I said, well, what do you love? And she named some things. I don't even remember what she said. But what I noticed was as she was talking about, well, I love to, and she named a few things, it was still not that energy that I was looking for. That would be enthusiastic and light and, high. And then the thought rose in me to ask her, well, what makes you giggle? And immediately she went into actually giggling. She started telling me about how she loves to dance. And as she's talking about dance, she's actually giggling while she's talking about it. And I said to her, what would happen if you integrated dance with your work with children? And I remember the look that she gave me. It was one of those duh looks, the kind that we go, I never thought about that. And then she started to think about it, and she started to begin brimming with all of these ideas. So after that, I knew to ask people, what do you love? What makes you giggle? And last week, LaRue talked about choosing happiness, and she referred to a book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Now, if you didn't get that book, or if you didn't listen to last week's message, please do so. It is so profound about how we can actually choose happiness. But it isn't that you choose happiness all by itself. And this was in chapter 15 of this remarkable book. Leading up to that is how you let go of resistance. See, the only thing that keeps us from really doing what we love, more than doing what we don't love in our life, is resistance. So, here's what resistance is. Resistance is when we have an event or a situation that happens in our life, and there are all these thoughts about that situation or event, and some of those thoughts and beliefs and ideas about that situation pass through. They don't get stuck. You have a thought, it goes through, nothing happens. Other thoughts and beliefs will actually get lodged in the energetic body. In other words, you'll have an event that happens, it's already gone by, but then there's this continuing story about the event. And if it doesn't pass through, then it's in the energetic body somewhere. Fascinating, isn't it? And that's what hooks us and keeps us from allowing things to just pass and flow through us. This is what resistance is. Resistance is blocking or stopping the flow of that energy, of that thought, that belief, that idea, that story, stopping or blocking that from actually passing through us. Well, Singer explains that when you become the noticer of you having those experiences and having those thoughts, then you can sit in that place of noticing and make, sort of activate those thoughts to go through you. Now, in Your Essential Whisper, LaRue and I talk about the noticer. But the noticer is pure consciousness. It is the part of you that is watching you have the experiences. When you activate this noticer, when you feel like you're getting hooked, you can activate the noticer that's watching you get hooked, and then choose to allow those thoughts to actually flow through you. I wasn't sure what the example was that I was going to give you for this, because I've been working on it all week, and it's amazing by letting these thoughts and ideas just flow through that I have just experienced so much more peace and giggles and joy and happiness. And this is how you can get to choose that happiness. But I wasn't sure about the example I was going to give you. Well, life happens, right? I was interrupted 2 times shooting this video. 2 times. My husband walked in the kitchen. I was actually in the kitchen when I was shooting. He walked in the kitchen and sort of just walked by me. I got distracted, got interrupted. I stopped the video. I reshot it. I started to shoot it again. About 3 minutes into the video, my daughter comes out of her room, slams the door, comes down the stairs, goes down to the hall to go to the bathroom, flushes the toilet. And I could feel those thoughts. The event happens, and I could hear the thoughts. The thoughts were coming in. They sounded something like this. I can't believe that these people are interrupting me while I'm shooting a video. I'm going to have to start all over again. I can't believe I'm going to have to start all over again. How disrespectful. And as each one started to show up, I could feel the discomfort that we have with resistance, because I wasn't allowing the event to flow through. It was hooking me, and I caught it. Oh my goodness, I caught it. And I was able to become the noticer, watching my daughter kind of come through the kitchen, looking at her face, feeling the love that I have for her, and allowing all those thoughts to actually pass through. Now here's how I do it. I think about the heart as a heart chakra. And the heart chakra actually goes through. We're an energy. We kind of see a body and we think we're solid, but this energy actually passes through. And it spins. And I take the thought that is hooking me, and I actually visualize it moving through this vortex of energy and passing through, so that when it comes out the other end, it's dissolved. And that's what I do. That's how I imagine it. You can kind of come up with your own technique, but it works. I decided to move and come to my office and reshoot, where I know I won't get any interruptions. But I did it without the angst and the resistance and the anger or the irritation or the frustration. In fact, I feel extremely joyful about now moving up to the office and doing it. This is what joy and playing with your soul is all about. Michael Singer is talking about the untethered soul. When your soul is untethered to fear and anxiety and desires that pull you into longing about things you want to have happen in the future, it's a soul that is playful. It's a way that you can actually play with your soul. So the question is what makes you giggle? A reader who listened to LaRue's audio last week wrote us and said, that's what he does. He makes himself giggle. Even if he doesn't feel like it, sometimes he just makes himself giggle, and it changes how he is viewing his world. And that's how he chooses happiness. So I hope that this helps to understand a little bit about resistance and how you can let those ideas and thoughts and concepts that hook you actually pass through. And then ask yourself, what makes me giggle? And make sure to have more of that going on in your life every day, every moment, this week for sure. Okay? Until next time. Bye for now.